Morning. 5 summers ago, I arrived here in Heidelberg for the first time. My friend and I were backpacking through Europe, and we stopped here lured by accounts of the town's charm and the area's beauty. We stepped off the train and walked to a nearby hostel. A local man who served as the hostel's bartender, bouncer, short order cook, and receptionist greeted us upon our entry. I asked him if we could stay for 2 nights, and he quickly responded, "Do you have a reservation?" "No," I said. "I've backpacked through 5 countries without using one reservation. Why would I need one here?" He said, "Well, we can make room for you." And we were glad he did. Now, I had studied German culture and language in college, so I was fully aware of the Germans' love for efficiency. But I must have missed the reservations are always required class. Today, 5 years later, I have returned, this time with my beautiful wife Heidi, and this time I made reservations. Various professors and students I know told me OU's best graduation ceremony outside of Oklahoma is right here in Heidelberg. So my wife and I flew from Naples, Italy, to be here and participate in this great celebration. I'm actually a little surprised to be standing before you today as a fellow graduate. As I was growing up, I never envisioned myself earning a master's degree. My mom and dad divorced when I was in kindergarten, and my mother raised my brother, my sister, and me by herself. She didn't have the extra funds to pay for college. Weeks after graduating high school, I was on my way to join the military. I talked with recruiters from the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Air Force. Because I grew up in Louisiana's Cajun country, the Air Force was super excited to enroll me in their Combat Survival Instructor program, which teaches pilots how to survive off the land in the event they're shot down. The Air Force was not only going to teach me how to eat crickets and ants in the wilderness, but they were going to teach me how to prepare others to eat these tasty critters. They have probably heard that Cajuns will eat anything. Keep in mind, this was before Man vs. Wild Bear Grylls made his look not only delicious but enticing. But just before signing any military contracts, I received a letter from the Louisiana Board of Education awarding me an academic scholarship. A college education was now my grasp. I immediately enrolled at the University of Louisiana in Lafayette and began taking a ton of courses. Mark Twain once remarked, "I have never let my schooling interfere with my education." I have done likewise, Mr. Twain. My major was criminal justice, but throughout my semesters I enrolled in ballroom dance, 3 scuba diving classes, a wilderness survival course, advanced German conversation, advanced Spanish conversation, military science, and other out-of-the-ordinary yet fascinating subjects. At one point, my academic dean, who by the way looked exactly like Mark Twain, had to manually override the university's computer system so I could take all these courses that had nothing to do with my major, but a lot to do with educating me. Universities are probably used to making money off students, but in my case, I would bet they lost some. Even though my scholarship paid for tuition, I was still responsible for books, supplies, and other fees. It amazed me how much this added up, and I decided to ask my dad for financial help. When I called him on the phone, I said, "Dad, college is a lot more expensive than I thought it would be. One of my textbooks alone cost more than $100. Can you help me out with some money?" There was an awkward silence for a brief moment before my dad hurled this nugget of wisdom my way. "You know, son, college ain't for everybody." He then reminded me that after graduating from high school, he went straight to the oil field and worked his entire life as a driller with no college education. Undeterred, I continued to work really hard toward my Bachelor of Science degree. Since my major was criminal justice, I became a police officer to gain real-world experience and to earn the money I needed. I attended college classes during the day and patrolled the streets on nights and weekends. I did this for several years, and then 9/11 happened. As every one of you here can understand, seeing the tragedy and injustice that day reverberated through my soul. I was determined to do even more to help protect my country. With the ink still fresh in my diploma, I applied to become a special agent with the Department of Homeland Security. The U.S. government sent me to serve on the front line of the war on drugs in Los Angeles. If the folks at Woodstock had access to all the drugs that I saw in my 4 years of Homeland Security, they would still be partying. Or dead. After 4 years of working in LA's concrete jungle, I decided to transfer to the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, more commonly known as NCIS, so I could work overseas. In March of 2009, NCIS transferred my wife and me to Naples, Italy. Every day in Naples, the OU site director, Rosalinda Archuleta Pintor, pestered me constantly about pursuing a master's degree. I explained to her, I don't need a master's degree. I already have the job I want. I don't want to spend thousands of dollars to get what I thought was just another piece of paper. However, upon personal reflection, I recognize that education is much more than a mere piece of paper. It is one of the best avenues towards self-improvement. Well, my standing here today proves that Rosie's persistence paid off. Thank you, Rosie. OU offered a course on leadership, a topic that has always been interesting and important to me. I was eager for OU to teach me the finer aspects of leadership and the key to working more effectively with people. After being absent from the academic field for 7 years, I found myself knocking off the dust and reading tons of books on leadership, preparing for my new graduate level courses. Throughout my research, I stumbled across an interesting statistic. Did you know that in your lifetime, you will influence at least 10,000 other people? So the question is not whether you will influence someone, but how you will use your influence. The world is shrinking. As we continue to become more interconnected, we have increased opportunities to influence each other and improve the world around us. Think about this for a second. I'm an American from Texas who grew up in Louisiana, but I attended graduate courses in Italy from a university in Oklahoma to finally end up graduating here in Germany. Wow. When we were children, we could have never imagined these possibilities. Yet here we are, and we can make a difference. This is why an OU degree is so remarkable. This is why an OU degree is so valuable. This is why an OU degree is so applicable to our world today. Each of us today should feel proud of our accomplishment, whether we earned our degree in human relations or in international relations. We sacrificed greatly during this endeavor. We paid with our valuable time and with our hard-earned money. And this piece of paper was an investment in ourselves, an investment in our fellow man, an investment in our world's future. To truly make our sacrifice a worthwhile investment, we must be willing to use it to benefit others. Dr. Albert Schweitzer won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1952. Dr. Schweitzer was a humanitarian, a philosopher, a missionary, and a medical doctor. In other words, a true Renaissance man. He said, I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I know. The only ones among you who will be happy are those who have sought and found how to serve. All of you are extraordinary people. You started from the beginning and steadily marched your way to educational victory, right here, right now. Graduates, as you go forth with the knowledge OU professors and fellow students have imparted on you, I bid you Godspeed.